Do not attempt to adjust your set. This is a Streaming Freedom Video Bulletin. It cannot be stopped, and it is the only free voice left on the net. Hello friends, and welcome back to the channel. For today's Skyrim mod showcase on the PS4, I've been getting a lot of comments as of late for people hoping for a, body or possibly body texture replacer for the NPC characters for, in their words, to make the characters look better. While personally, I think the characters look just fine the way that they are, I did notice today that there has been 2 ports from the Nexus to PlayStation by Mod Author aurllcooljay that is a texture replacer for male and female characters. Now this will affect every male and female character in the game, with the exception possibly of a custom character like Sophia, but any vanilla character or vanilla based character should be affected by this mod. A couple of things to keep in mind is that according to what I've read, if you have a mod that changes the undergarment colors, so from the default yellow, those mods will no longer work with this mod installed. And also, Argonian and Khajiit characters are excluded from the changes that this mod does. With that said, let's see how to find today's showcased mod. So all these mods can currently be found in the latest category. There is a PS4 and a PS5 version of the female texture replacer, as well as a PS4 and PS5 version of the male texture replacer. Depending on when you see the video, you should be able to get all of them to come up by bringing up the search function with L1 and then typing in Simply Skin to the search bar. Should make all versions come up. Make certain to pick the version that matches your version of the game. First up is PS4 version, Simply Skin, Male Texture Replacer. It's been ported to PlayStation by Mod Author aurllcooljay, with the original credit going to the Mod Author SpringHeelJon, and the mod description in part reads, "This mod changes the male body with improved textures and more detailed feet, some footwear. This applies to all playable races except Argonians and Khajiits. I excluded them to save space. Also replaces the male underwear and applies to all playable races. One of the screenshots shows how it looks before and after. Slight issues. Any mod that adds recolors of the original male underwear no longer works. The textures on male Argonian and Khajiit feet won't fit well on some of the changed footwear. If you have the female version of Simply Skin downloaded, have this mod above it in the load order, or Argonians and Khajiits will use the new feet models which don't fit their textures." Now if you'd like to install the female version, the name of that is PS4 version, Simply Skin, Female Texture Replacer. Again, ported to PlayStation by Mod Author aurllcooljay, with the original credit going to Mod Author SpringHeelJon, and the mod description in part reads, "This mod changes the female body with improved textures and more detailed feet, some footwear. This applies to all playable races except Argonians and Khajiits. Slight issues. The textures on female Argonian and Khajiit feet won't fit well on some of the changed footwear. If you have some male versions of Simply Skin downloaded, have this mod below it in the load order, or Argonians and Khajiits will use the new feet models which don't fit their textures." As always, make certain to read the mod description in its entirety before you choose to download and install these or any other mods. So first up, the mods are not currently active. This is the vanilla base for male and female character to run as a comparison. The male is a modded character but using a vanilla body as its base. And you'll notice that with Lydia that there is specks of dirt on her skin. Probably is on the male too, but there's too much hair to really be able to tell. Their feet looks like their toes are kind of fused together. They're not really like separated and well defined. Both do have colored undergarments currently because I'm using the mod Body Replacer by aurllcooljay that's been available on PlayStation for years. I know it won't work with the male, but I'm curious to see if it will still work with the female. So next up, let me go ahead, switch on both male and female texture replacers and see what the difference is. So I have switched on both the male and female texture replacers. Right off the bat, I noticed that the male looks a lot more clean shaven. A lot of the hair has been removed. For Lydia, her body looks a lot cleaner, I would say. It looks like there might be still a little bit of dirt, but not too much. Looks like both Lydia and the male feet are equally well defined now. Individual toes that you can see here. The male has the yellow undergarments. I don't know if those are the vanilla ones they normally wear, as I don't really pay any attention to the male undergarments, but I noticed that with Lydia, she is still able to access the red undergarments from Body Replacer by aurllcooljay. So for female characters, they can use the texture replacer and still have this active. And if you didn't have the male installed, I assume that the male would be able to as well, but I'm not going to test that currently. Also, one thing though that I will point out that I noticed is that on the male character, his face and neck look a lot darker than his chest does, and I didn't really notice that before. Now the same can be true though for like the vanilla textures on them. I've noticed that with Lydia, if she isn't wearing very much, that her face and neck are a little bit darker because obviously that's where the model is put together, and it's still noticeable on her, but I'd say maybe not as much. So next what I'm going to do is I want to test the mod Racial Body Morph Redux SSE. For those that don't know, that mod like changes the heights of different races, also makes some of them look like stronger looking, more buff, some of them look weaker, and I want to see if it's compatible with these texture replacers. So let me go in, switch that mod on, and run that comparison. Back with you guys in just a little bit. Okay, so I have switched back on the Racial Body Morph Redux SSE. I've also turned off the body replacer, the one that gives the color to undergarments that I've had for years. I've turned it off to see that there isn't any conflict with it being off, and it looks to be, I'd say, the same. I don't see any difference like in their feet. It looks like the texture replacer is still active there. And I can't be for certain that the body morph one is working. He does look, I'd say, more muscular maybe than he did previously, but I won't really be able to tell till I set these up in SHAREfactory with the comparison test. The way that I do have them in my load order right now is I have the male texture replacer, followed by the female texture replacer, and then a little further down, the Racial Body Morph Redux SSE. And I didn't get any crash when I attempted to load back in, so seems to be functioning. Because this is the last comparison that I am going to run on these two vanilla characters, as we'll run a couple on Sophia next. Go ahead and take a look at their back, which it is kind of hard to see though in the light. The reason that I didn't run all three together is because she kept bumping into them and causing them to, yeah, do that. Actually, would you, there we go. That way we can see the back of them a little bit better. So yeah, overall, I think that it is working perfectly fine with the racial body morphs. So next up, let me go ahead and, I might actually use this as my thumbnail, come to think of it. Let me go ahead and pull in Sophia, because I want to make certain that it doesn't change up her model, because she has a custom body, and I don't want it changed. So I'm going to run a couple of comparisons on her to see. I'll be back with you guys in just a little bit. Okay, so this is Sophia's character model without the female texture replacer active. Damn, I never noticed that before. Her feet definitely look weird. Actually, I've never really paid attention to what she looks like barefoot.
What is it?
She has, like, boots on. Would you turn and face the camera, please?
I'm here if you ever need me.
This is why I have to do you separate, because you won't cooperate. Any case, so this is her custom body, the way that it normally is. And, the feet did that.
I get a lot of looks from people wherever
anyways,
I go.
I want to make certain
I'm not sure if it's
that
they find me
the texture replacer for the female body doesn't alter her too differently. I wouldn't notice that with the feet anyways, as she normally is wearing boots, but I just want to make certain it doesn't alter her custom body. Would you stand still? This is exactly why I had to do you separate. In any case, let me turn on the female texture replacer. I'll be back with you guys in just a little bit. Okay, so I have the female texture replacer active. I don't notice any difference. Might be more noticeable.
Yes, let's go.
Oh, come on, don't be shy now. Wait a minute. Would you stand still?
Do you have something to say?
Yes, stand still.
I'm all ears. Well, not literally, of course.
I don't know, but the majority of her body looks unchanged, which is what I'm hoping for, but it looks like actually it did alter her feet, which is interesting. It corrected them. Normally she isn't really affected. She isn't affected by, like, say, the body replacer that changes the undergarments, for example. For my final test before I end the video, I want to see if I'm even going to notice a difference with the female texture replacer on or not. Currently, it's not active. This is the vanilla body for Lydia and custom body that Sophia normally has, as it is a fairly large download size, so... any case, let me go ahead, switch on the female texture replacer, and run the comparison. So the female texture replacer is currently active, and right off the bat I definitely noticed that Lydia's body looks more cleaned up and stuff. A lot of the dirt has been removed, which I had noticed previously. I don't really notice any change to Sophia, which is good. I did not want it to change her body. I have run a couple of extra tests that I'm not going to include in this video, so I don't have to age restrict it. But I figured some people would ask, plus I wanted to know for myself. If you're wondering, will the female texture replacer remove custom assets on a custom body like Sophia's? Luckily, the answer is no, it does not. It seems to just correct her feet. If you're wondering, will it add those custom features to other female bodies like Lydia's, for example? The answer is no, it does not seem to. If you're wondering, will it give a custom feature to a male character? I did not check that. That'd be up to you guys to do, but I would assume no, being as it did not change the female. Seems like mainly what it does is it cleans up their bodies, removes some of the hair on the male, and fixes the feet. So, with that said, that brings us to the end of the showcase. Thank you to Mod Author aurllcooljay for taking time to port this to PlayStation. Thank you to the original Mod Author that created it, and thank you for watching. Take care. This has been a Streaming Freedom Video Bulletin. Peace out.